Oh, I just can't get enough of it. One of the things that really gets me out of bed in the morning is talking about Microsoft licensing. It's just the best. I don't even need coffee. Heavy sarcasm, if those of you didn't notice. So, first thing here, this website that I have up, many of you are probably familiar with it. Johan and I talk about it with some frequency, that's for sure. It is M365Maps.com by Aaron Dinich. And this website helps make sense of the landscape that is Microsoft 365 licensing. Fantastic website, does a really nice job of visualizing all of these different licensing suites. For example, many of you probably know that my background is primarily higher education. So a lot of what I'm dealing with is the A licensing suite. So I can go in here, I can click on A5 and see what's available in A5. Or I can go to all and I can see what's available across all of the Microsoft 365 education suites. Um, and visualize that, and we can see what gets added as you go down across these different suites. So A1, A3, A5 as we go across. Really fantastic stuff. The reason that I bring this website up today is A, to remind you that it's available because it's a fantastic resource. B, if we go to the change log, there was an update this month and last month, which I think we mentioned last month, but um, Aaron does a lot of work trying to keep this up to date as there are changes to the uh, whatever sarcastic metaphor I can think of around Microsoft 365 licensing. So this is fantastic stuff. Bookmark this page if you're working with licensing at all in this space. Um, so that was the first thing that I had today. Second was an announcement that I came across just before we hopped on. So I think this was announced this afternoon. But the Microsoft Entra PowerShell module is now generally available. So I have already given myself more homework over the next week. But I'm very excited to dive into this now that it's GA, and see, if this is going to make life a little bit easier. The intention here is to help move us along from the Azure AD PowerShell module into this new module. And in theory, I think is supposed to be a little bit easier to use than the Microsoft Graph SDK if you don't need that entire SDK. But that remains to be seen. Like I said, that's on my list for the next week. Couple of other updates that I came across. Let's see. We had. Uh-oh. Hold on a second. You still have me here, Johan? You got my audio?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
All right. My RDP session is not fine. I swear. We we had that weird issue last week. I've not had a single network connection issue since our live stream last week. Go figure.
Well, let me know if you want me to share a few things while you figure that one out.
Yeah, that sounds good because this is not.
All right, I'm gonna steal your screen for a second, and we'll simply come back to you in a little bit.
Perfect. I'll do some troubleshooting.
This is not what I wanted to talk about. This is cool, but it's that was something else I was working on. Mr. Gary Block, who I happen to be able to spend some time with on a weekly basis, and see recently. If I actually get the link instead of the heading for it, you'll see wonders will happen. But Gary has, good lord, copy and paste, Andrew. I promise you, one day. He made an update to the safeguard hold database. yesterday, I think. Yeah, 28th. So if you guys haven't seen this, it's a great series or a bunch of PowerShell scripts together with, of course, a shiny JSON database of all the common blocks for different devices, what version of Windows they won't work on, etc. But this is something you can run on your machine, these scripts, to figure out if there is a safeguard hole preventing them from receiving an update, basically. This goes kind of hand in hand to a blog post I wrote a little while ago about the foundation for this, the upgrade experience indicators, the registry keys that are being generated by the compatibility operator service or function that is called by a service or scheduled. It is. Anyhow, they generate registry values. And if you happen to have a gated block ID showing up, I don't have one on this machine, but you could have. That's when you use Gary's PowerShell scripts to figure out why that is, because that can be otherwise quite tricky to find out what it is. So thank you, Gary, for doing that. I appreciate that. What other news? Well, I had a chance to speak with chat with Mr. David Segura the other day. He seems to be working on some exciting things that I'm not yet, I think, allowed to talk about. But I did see he joined here in the chat earlier. So yeah, good to see you, David. If you have anything to share, by all means do it. Otherwise, we will zip up and we will wait until the official announcement kicks in.
That's right. Just start building the hype is what you're doing.
Building the hype is what we're doing here. Yes, indeed. Anyhow, did you figure out your networking thing?
Yeah, I did. I closed my browser and reopened it, and it was fine.
That's the modern version of have you turn it on and off again? Yep, I hear you. All right.
That's right. I once heard a smart man say, keep it simple.
Keep it simple, yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to pop back over to my screen.
Yep, on it.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Sorry about that, folks. So a couple more things that came across here. Our friend Jürgen posted a blog post around reinstalling a required Win32 app using a remediation on demand. Pretty excited to give this a try. If I recall correctly, Johan, one of the most popular blog posts of the last couple of years on the Deployment Research blog has been around reinstalling or retrying Win32 apps, correct?
Yes, sir. Indeed.
So we've got another tool here at our disposal. So very exciting stuff. I love how there's something about Jürgen's blog post that he finds this this niche problem, maybe not niche, but this very specific problem, and somehow is one of the only people that gets a blog post out there about it. It's great stuff. All right. Three more quick things. Oliver Kieselbach's SyncMLViewer tool, a fantastic tool if you've not used it. It sort of helps decode the messaging happening between Intune and a Windows operating system. He released a new version that includes decoding the Autopilot hardware hash, which actually has quite a bit of useful information. You can see here in his screenshot some of the stuff that you can see in the hardware hash, OS type and processor type. All of these things go into making a unique identifier for a specific device. Very useful update here.
I usually just decode it in my head, but it's nice to have a tool for it.
Yeah, well, you got to stay humble.
Heck no, yeah.
There's another update to this week's full of updates. There was another update to the Open Intune baseline, which seems to be gaining quite a bit of popularity, which is fantastic. So James Robinson and some other community members put this together. Basically, is a starting point for getting some various security baselines and configuration baselines in Intune, getting them going where they have already created a lot of these configurations for you. You can import them into Intune and then assign them to your devices. So you can see a couple of different updates that they added here, some default file association policies, some new endpoint security policies, and some changes as well. Open Intune baseline. I know, Johan, you've also been talking quite a bit about the naming convention that they've been using in there recently. Is fantastic stuff. Nice way of identifying things. And I think last but not least, I have to call this out. I learned many years ago that you have a certain fondness for Zoomit.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it's fantastic, by the way. What a great tool. I was excited to see that the latest version of PowerToys actually has Zoomit included in it. That's new. That's shiny. Helping bring Zoomit, I don't know about to the masses, but I'm going to go with that.
A larger audience. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. So yeah, that was kind of the stuff that I had for this week. A lot of nice updates to some common tools.
Yeah. So some comments showing up in the chat here, especially one from David that I wanted to actually highlight just to put the pressure on here a little bit. Next week, he says. So we'll see. We'll tune back next week and see if we have an update. If not, we'll stick to it. So, all right.
Sounds like I've got my additional homework of actually catching up on that thread today. So, David, I will do that.
Sounds good. All right. I had a few other things I wanted to share if you were done with your part there, Andrew.
Yes.
All right. So first of all, for those of you that missed our highlights of the year that we did on January 1st, that one is of course available, and I did a rename of it also, so it will be a little bit easier to find. But long story short, in this particular session here, this is where you spent the entire office hour session summarizing everything we thought was cool from 2024. So if you didn't have a chance to join at that time, I mean, it was holidays after all, by all means, catch up on the recording. It's available there. Also, a friendly reminder, we had some really good interest for this one here. An upcoming mini course. These are our free community courses. Price is just right, but Andrew and I will discuss how to deal with the fact that the MDT integration with ConfigMgr has been announced, deprecated, and will, according to Microsoft, the first ConfigMgr version after October 10, 2025, you should not be using it. The announcement basically says you may end up with broken sequences. So, but still time. I mean, it's not October yet, but time flies pretty quickly. And if you want to get a little bit of an idea what you can do to move away from that, join us on Friday. It is Friday, right? Or was it Thursday? I have to check.
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. Thursday, right. All right, awesome. But that was all I had in terms of news and updates.